Welcome to Kemi Talks Gist. I'm Kemi Olunloyo and it's the 6th of September 2020. We're talking about WIZKID. Let's zero in on WIZKID. As you guys know, a couple of days ago was World WIZKID Day, February 4th every year. I really have no idea why they picked that day because his birthday is 16th of July. He'll be 30 this year, so there's a big party on the way. Wazy, I'm a WIZKID fan. However, WIZKID FC, which is the fan club, very viral on Twitter. They showed, and they really were awesome. WIZKID has some of the best fans ever in music. At the end of the day, what I want to talk about is that tweet on World WIZKID Day by the bank UBA. As many of you know, WIZKID has a lot of endorsement deals. I mean, the kinds you really like. The Pepsi, the Glow, what else? He used to have MTN. Really big brands. That's what he endorses. WIZKID is on a brand endorsement for UBA, the United Bank of Africa. One of Nigeria's oldest banks, first generation. Well, it's been said that that deal was $3 million. You know, let me just say this. The tweet that UBA tweeted was brand ambassador Tobad. You know how they say that? Tohbahd. Tobad. WIZKID was seen in the tweet sitting on a UBA pillow chilling. You know, when I think about the story of Ayo Balogun and the way I got to work on his show. I have never met WIZKID, but I worked on a show he was supposed to do in Toronto, Canada, and Vancouver in 2012. When I was leaving Canada, I was a publicist. So the promoters called me and I booked WIZKID on MTV Canada. And that whole incident, I've said the story before, tells you how horrible people are in life and how karma can really hit them. You know that I used to book artists. In those days, the promoters would give me my money. It's $5,000 to book an artist on MTV. When I book your artist, first you give me the 2.5, and when the artist comes, after the rest. Well, I already got half of it, and WIZKID didn't show up. Remember that story I told? I don't know why he didn't show up, but they said we should rebook him again. Okay, Dave at MTV Canada really loved WIZKID, back rumor and all that. And we just went ahead and booked him for 3 days later. Still didn't show up. They told us that they're still in New York recording. Well, guess what? 4 days after that, I was supposed to go to Nigeria. And what happened would shock you. The BBM on my phone was from the road manager and said, Auntie Kemi, are you serious? We were booked to go on MTV Canada. Nobody told us. Who was supposed to tell you guys? Osage, WIZKID's former manager. The woman that claims that she brought WIZKID to EME. Well, that's true. But at the same time, Osage was in issues with WIZKID. At that time, it was really bad. But I didn't know how bad it was. So, to be really horrible to WIZKID, Osage did not tell him that it was booked to perform on MTV Canada, which would have been a big, huge break for him. See, when you do wickedness to people, what happens to you is worse. Osage reportedly collected £10,000 from a promoter in London and didn't book WIZKID. The way they collected money over there, I don't know what to say. But Banky Wellington pacified everybody and said there was nothing wrong. You remember what Wizzy said when he left EME? He said he left without any money. He went on to start Starboy with nothing. And we were all watching. There are people who said he will never make it. Starboy will collapse. I was one of those people that were watching what's going to happen. Because what I did in Canada was basically music journalism and music publicity. Today, Starboy is possibly the largest and the most successful label in Nigerian music. I used to say Nigeria doesn't have a music industry. It's just all make-believe. Nigeria actually has a music industry now. And it's getting there. Starboy has gone to sign a couple of artists. WIZKID has become really big. Every endorsement in the world. And let's go back to the UBA one. Oh, so reportedly it's $3 million. It's not. First, before I go off that topic, let me talk about the tweets the Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences tweeted Right before the Grammy, the Academy tweeted about WIZKID being an Afrobeat artist with a lucrative contract with Sony and RCA, the record labels, the big labels that he signed with. And that record deal was so huge, and that his music is so good. He's done tracks with some artists like Drake. One Dance went to #1, and also Beyonce's latest Lion King thing, Brown Skin Girl. So, on the Twitter handle of the Grammys, they spoke about WIZKID, and a lot of us tweeted back and said, we need an Afrobeat category, don't you think? The Grammys, if the Grammys were to put an Afrobeat category, I bet you WIZKID will be the first winner in that category. Grammy. Guys, a lucrative record deal. Lots and lots of endorsement, the Pepsi thing, the Glow, 120 million over there. WIZKID's deal with UBA, and UBA is going to come for me. It's not $3 million, guys. It's $5 million. WIZKID! This year, I'm going to meet WIZKID. I have to meet him. I mean, all this time. I was in the middle of that mess over there when he didn't show up for the thing. But then later on, showed up for the concert, but missed the MTV opportunity. All the people that did him bad should bury their heads now. Ayo Balogun, WIZKID, he is a genius in music. Everybody loves his music. Best fan club ever. Shout out to WIZKID FC. 3 sons with 3 different women. I know the sons are going to take over his whatever when he becomes 100 years old one day. And I really hope that his children become singers too. They all look like him. WIZKID's ambassadorial deal with the United Bank of Africa to promote the bank products and all that is $5 million. And that amounts to 1.8 billion naira in his bank account. You're talking about real money. Guys, that's shit money for somebody under 30. And while I'm shouting at WIZKID and everybody else that I need to shout out on this, the fans, can I just say thumbs down to Forbes Africa? Why am I saying that? Because Forbes Africa celebrates a lot of mediocre people. All right. Forbes is different from Forbes Africa. At the end of the day, it's under the same Money magazine. Why did Forbes Africa celebrate a fraudster instead of WIZKID? Remember, OBOKK Invicta's CEO, supposedly the boy that made a lot of money, 30 billion years under 30. And a year later, he was arrested for BEC scams, trying to scam a company in the UK of $12 million. He's in U.S. custody now with the FBI. And whenever I say mediocre people, I mean it. I said that, and I said they need to look at the Invictus guy instead of William Suchember. People point hands at wrong people in this country. At the end of the day, OBOKK is in prison. He was celebrated by BBC Africa, CNN, all these mediocre places, media platforms. Because of OBOKK, people cannot get recognized for all their tech work anymore because they're finding fraudsters. Nobody will celebrate us anymore. But 30 billion is under 30. He was celebrated on that, and WIZKID was not. WIZKID is a billionaire under 30. His birthday, his 30th birthday, will be this July 16th, 2020. Happy birthday in advance, WIZKID. For the Starboy fans, remember, I'm the director of the SSS. Shout out to the DSS, by the way. The SSS is the Starboy Security Services. I'm the director. Anybody that comes for WIZKID on Twitter, I'll come for them. And it won't be funny. It's never funny when I come for them. WIZKID fans are very protective of him. He's a really great guy. Ayo, Jerry-O, Maria this year. Oh yeah, talking about Tiwa. They're not dating, they're just friends. You heard Tiwa now. She told you straight up, we're friends for benefits. Tiwa and WIZKID are just very good friends, you know. And happy birthday. Tiwa Savage actually turned 40 yesterday. So she's 10 years older than him. So they do a lot of stunts just to make you keep wondering. Shout out to WIZKID. Thanks for listening to Kemi Talks Gist. I hope you love this thing. Make sure you subscribe and press that bell. The notification bell will notify you when the next video comes out.